Rattles or no rattles? That is the question. Ready, running guns? Time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Truck talking rattles. I've been noticing here since I've been putting my stuff together, doing the simplify your fishing, and you're kind of narrowing down my tackle. I have noticed I'm getting further and further away from rattling baits. Doesn't mean I don't like them. I mean, good grief, I'm a rattle trap dude, and the bomber baits, bomber baits are Rebels, Lucky Crafts, all that stuff. Been using them for years. I know you guys have too. But man, there's just something about wood baits and just that really soft split ring and hook kind of rattle. For you guys that haven't heard me mention it, a silent wood bait does rattle. If you don't believe me, throw it in the bathtub. Fill it with water first, but throw it in the bathtub and listen to it. It's a very soft sound, very high pitched. And not only that, but there's just something about a wood bait. But rattles, it's like the you guys have seen me paint a whole bunch of them wiggle wart blanks, and I've got the suspending ones, I've got the floating ones, even some silent ones. But I noticed that my favorite of all of them that Predator Bait sells is the DRS, the deep rattle sound. It's basically just one rattle, and it's not that loud. So I'm still debating on them. But my favorite of all, though, hands down, are wood baits. Those are my all-time favorite. I'm still a wiggle wart guy. Love the old original wiggle warts. I've caught a lot of bass on those things. But the silent balsa baits, or cedar even, doesn't matter what they're made of, wood-wise. But just something about that. I remember several years ago at the farm pond, that was my testing tank that I fished at for a long time. Man, I never threw a worm without a small glass rattle in it. Just never did. I always threw a glass rattle on that worm. And it took me a while to get myself off of that. I would take my worms and stuff to the pond with me to mess with them, and would intentionally leave my rattles at home, so I wouldn't use them. Because I was trying to prove to myself, does it really help, or doesn't it? And I still caught the same amount of bass. And if you figure, if there's so much fishing pressure now, especially with the sonars bouncing off the video games and scaring the bass in the deeper water as it is anyway, or shutting them down, I just prefer to have a quieter bait. People will say, well, shads don't rattle and baitfish don't rattle. Maybe not. But if they're swimming into school and they happen to bang together and stuff, there's been recordings of schools of shad making clicking sounds. So that's something to keep in mind. But I have really noticed that I'm getting further and further away from rattling baits. Even the top waters. I've actually decided to go ahead and just build a bunch of top waters. I found a guy that's got a whole bunch of Sam Griffin wood blanks, and I've been getting those off of them and just building my own top waters. Of course, I'm modifying them, but still I'm building my own top waters. They don't rattle. And there ain't nothing else on the market like the ones I'm building. Just something different. I got nothing against pop R's and Zara spooks and things like that, but a non-rattling top water to me is just the way to go. And there have been discrepancies when it comes to rattles and topwaters. Supposedly, underwater footage, you can't hear a topwater bait rattling. I don't know if that's true or not. But I will tell you this. I've caught more bass off a Zara Spook than I ever have at Lucky Craft Sammy. Or even a rattling spook, you know, the knocker. Or, let's say, a storm chug bug. You know, those have rattles in them. But there's just something about it, a bait that doesn't rattle, that to me just seems more useful for me than anything else. So if everybody else is pounding the waters and they're using rattling baits, maybe you should try a quiet one that doesn't rattle. I don't care if it's a soft plastic, even a jig. I mean, how many of you guys throw a jig with rattles in them? You ever thought about throwing a jig without a rattle? We used to back in the day. Old rubber jig and a pork chunk all day long. Caught plenty of bass. I don't know. What do you guys think? Rattles or no rattles? That is the question. And that's all I got from my infinite wisdom that means bupkis. So until next time, guys, remember, new techniques are trendy, but bass never change. May the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name, and as always, fish on, man.